3 new monthly check programs or assistance programs focused on low-income individuals just announced, and what lawmakers in Congress are now saying about universal basic income and guaranteed basic income, otherwise known as monthly checks. Let's get into it and discuss all of these latest updates. Welcome everyone, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, welcome to the channel, and please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I'm back each and every day in videos just like this one, bringing you all of the latest updates and helping you out in any way that I can during this very difficult time. So thanks so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. I'm very much dedicated and committed to helping out all of you during this time and making sure that you will get as much money as you possibly can with these stimulus packages and all of these other programs out there right now. All right, so thanks again. Let's jump into this and talk about these new programs just announced focused on low income and monthly payments, and then we can talk about what Congress is saying about monthly payments and or UBI or GBI. So let's get into these one program at a time. Here's what's interesting about this. Up until just a couple days ago, I came out with a new announcement on the latest guaranteed basic income program that was announced this week. Here's what's interesting. Prior to that, we had not heard about a single one of these programs in about a month. Prior to that, we were seeing a lot of programs, like 2 or 3 of these programs announced every single week. Well, I mentioned just the other day, like, hey, this is kind of weird. We haven't seen one of these in about a month now, and now we're finally getting one. Here's what's weird about it. Now, as of this week, just a few more days later, we now have multiple of these programs that have been announced this week alone. So I guess the saying goes, when it rains, I guess it pours, right? So yeah, pretty interesting. Either way, I want to lay these out for you and let you know what these latest programs are and the money that is up for grabs in these locations. Now remember, these are specific to some locations, but it's only a matter of time until we get these on a nationwide level or one comes to a town near you and or city or state or county, something like that. These things are popping up all over the place, literally all over the country. They are like all over the place. So, all right, let's talk about these one at a time. Phoenix, Arizona. This is the latest one. This just popped up yesterday. In fact, yesterday evening it was announced. I just found it, and I want to let you know what's going on. So Phoenix is now announcing a $1,000 guaranteed basic income program in their city right there. So if you are in Phoenix, Arizona, you might want to check this out because you could be getting $1,000 every single month for the next 12 months. $12,000, yes. So just like all other basic income programs, essentially it is a no strings attached payment. You get a $1,000 check every month and you can essentially do whatever you want with it. Sometimes they do have surveys attached to these payments, as in they may check up with you every so often and say, hey, just for research purposes, what are you spending the money on? Can we ask you? And a lot of times they'll just say, hey, are you like buying a car? Are you buying food and clothes? Are you paying for your car insurance? Are you paying your rent or utilities? Honestly, they don't really care what you spend the money on. They just want to know for research purposes. But this is the latest program out of Phoenix, Arizona, $1,000 being sent out on a monthly basis for the next 12 months. So if you're in Phoenix, check it out. You might be able to grab some of that money. All right, next comes out of Chicago. In fact, I just talked about this one the other day, but I wanted to give you the latest updates. This is actually one of the biggest programs in the country. It was introduced a new guaranteed basic income in the city of Chicago, where they would be introducing a $500 payment for 5,000 families going on for the next 12 months. Again, $500 in the city of Chicago. So if you are in that location, you might want to check that out as well. You might be able to grab yourself $500 per month for the next year as a result of this program. Once again, guaranteed basic income, no strings attached. You grab the money and pretty much that's it. You spend it on whatever you want. They pretty much don't care. Now, of course, it has to be legal. You can't go out and do illegal things, but I'm not saying that you would. I'm just simply saying it's kind of like an unwritten rule, right? I mean, it kind of goes with everything. Anyway, not saying that you would do that. I'm just saying you got to throw that out there because that's one of the kind of the unwritten parameters of these programs. All right. Another program comes out of the entire state of Illinois. So the governor of Illinois announced yesterday that they would be implementing this program, $327 million. That's a lot of money, right? Over $250 million they're going to be allocating for this. This is focused on low-income individuals and families where they have $327 billion that they are allocating, where you can dip into this money and you can grab some of it to help you pay for rent, utilities, food, and a multiple other expenses. So this is the entire state of Illinois from the research that I'm finding here. So if you're in Illinois, anywhere in Illinois, it looks like this money is available to you. $327 million available. So if you're in Illinois, you might want to check this one out as well. Grab some of that money. I'm not quite sure what the parameters are as far as applying for it and getting some of that money. Either way, I would say if you're in Illinois and you're low income, do whatever you can to get some of that money. Even if you use it on your rent, your utilities, your food, or the whole host of other options that you can spend this money on, grab it. Seriously, if it's available to you and you are eligible to get it, grab the money. Please do it for me. Grab the money for yourself and pay for some food. I don't really care. Do what you need for with that money. But when the money is available, you've got to grab it, because here's the thing. As soon as it's gone, it's gone. That's it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like a refill. It's not like when you go to the pharmacy, you call the pharmacy and you say, hey, can I get a refill? You know how that is, right? I used to work in a pharmacy, so I know how that goes, right? I answered the phone hundreds of times a day, people calling in for refills. So it's not like that with the pharmacy. You don't get a refill, right? So when the money's gone, it's gone, but grab your share. All right, so these are the programs that are recently announced just this week between basically yesterday evening and through the last couple of days here. These are the most recent programs announced. But we do have some new updates out of lawmakers in Congress. Yes, talking about universal basic income and guaranteed basic income, otherwise known as monthly checks focused on low-income individuals. Here's what's interesting about it. There actually have been some remarks out of lawmakers in Congress that are essentially saying, this is a big issue. We need to figure this out because families and individuals will need ongoing support. They need monthly payments. Yes, they're actually recognizing that Americans need ongoing payments during this time. And they went on to basically say, the next person who can figure out the solution to this problem, as far as how we can implement this program, how we can get these monthly checks out to people who actually need it, rather than just kind of like a blanket payment system where it's universal basic income, payments going out to literally every citizen in the country, that's not really effective because, let's be real, not everybody needs monthly payments, right? It's only the lower income individuals. But essentially what lawmakers are saying is the next person who can figure out a system of getting these payments out on a large scale to low income individuals will ultimately be the next president. So I'm not really sure where that came from, but these are the remarks that are being said. The next person who can figure out how to implement these payments on a large scale for low-income individuals and start sending out this necessary assistance on a monthly basis, as in UBI or GBI, will ultimately get the bid for the next presidency. So I have no clue what they're alluding to with that. I'm not sure what they actually mean as far as, is it going to be like, what are they talking about with the president? But essentially they're saying this is a big, big problem. And when we can figure it out, when we can have somebody who can take the leadership behind this and actually figure this problem out and come up with an actionable solution, you've got the bid. So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. I've never heard a statement saying like, that'll be the next person who gets the presidency. Again, I'm not taking sides. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying this is what they've said. So kind of weird a little bit. I've never really seen comments like that made about taking the presidency bid, but essentially that's what they're saying right now. So pretty interesting, right? But either way, it's nice that Congress is actually recognizing that, ongoing payments are probably going to be a real thing of the future, considering that there's all these localities, states, cities, counties, different locations all across the country right now, like what I just talked about, Chicago, Illinois, Phoenix, just the latest programs. But I mean, I could go on and on with probably about 60 of these different programs all over the country right now that are actually sending out monthly recurring payments to low-income individuals. The cool thing about these guaranteed basic income programs, generally they go for about a year at a minimum. That's usually the minimum amount of time is 12 months. A lot of times they extend for even longer than that. 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, maybe even up to 5 years in some instances. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to bring you the latest update. Kind of funny how earlier this week I said, hey, kind of surprising, a new program was just announced, and all of a sudden we've got all these other programs, right? They keep popping up. So it's kind of interesting how kind of things kind of ebb and flow like that, right? But either way, I'll keep watching all this stuff very closely. If you are in those locations, Chicago, Illinois as a whole, Phoenix, Arizona, check those out. You might be able to grab those payments on an ongoing monthly basis for the next 12 months. You never know. Your time, researching it for maybe 20, 30 minutes and maybe an hour applying things like this, you might be able to get some pretty good money on an ongoing basis for the next few months here. Well, next year, I should say, right? So anyway, want to bring you the latest updates. I'll continue to watch everything closely as I get more updates on any of these programs and or other new programs popping up. Of course, I'll bring those to you right away. So thanks again for your support. I really appreciate it. Subscribe down below, share this video with your friends, family, or social media, and go back and check out some other videos right here on the channel. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Just remember, I'm here to help out in any way I can, and I'll see you later.